Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim Tataputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha hastamalakam cha shishyam tam todakam vartikakaramanyan asmadgurun santatamanatosmi shruti smriti purananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavat padam shankaram loka shankaram shankaram shankaracharyam keshavam badarayanam sutrabhashya krutau vande Bhagavantau punah punah samasta jana kalyani niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidmaram sarva vedanta siddhanta gocharam tamagocharam govindam paramanandam sadgurum pranatosmyaham. Ahankaram Tyaja. That's the main point here, because that is the direct representative of ignorance. We saw in the verse number 297, 298. Santyant, together we will read. Santanye pradibanta pumsaha samsara hetavo drishtaha Teshāmekam mūlam pratama Vikaro bhavatyahankaraha Santyante pradibanta pumsaha Santyante pradibamsa pumsaha Samsara hetavo drishtaha Teshāmekam mūlam pratama Vikaro bhavatyahankaraha. I still have to find what is the meter in that. Bandhaha pradibandhaha samsara hetavaha santi anye pradibandhaha. So there are many other impediments or obstacles which are all samsara hetavaha. For the Purusha, Pumsaha, which are all causes for the samsara. Tesham ekam moolam. There is only one root cause. Pratama vikaraha. Ajnanasya pratama vikaraha. For the ajnan, the first modification. It is bhavati ahankaraha. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, first thought that comes is ahankara. Aham iti. That until that time your body may be hungry or not hungry, whatever it is, tired or not tired. But the moment you wake up, first thought that comes is what? I'm hungry. Or I'm tired. I'm not slept well, I'm tired. Or I'm angry. So with the hunger, when you are angry, it's called hangry. So along with hunger, if you are angry also. So this first thought that arises in the beginning of the day, as soon as you wake up, That is called the thought of I. That is called Ekam Moolam Pratama Vikara. That's why Ramana Maharshi said, this, if you look at the root of that Aham, Ahamayam Kuto Bhavati Chinvatah Aipatatyaham Nija Vicharanam. This Ahankara Vritti, when it comes before that, what was there? See, effect always comes after the cause. Cause cannot be before that. Cause cannot be after that, I mean. So, cause of the Ahankar must be before the Ahankara Vritti. So, let us stop at that moment when I have the thought, I am angry, I am whatever. The beginning of the day, as soon as you wake up, what is that thought that arises? I am so and so, or whatever. I am angry, I am hungry, I am tired. Before that, aham ayam kutaha bhavati. Where did this come from? So, before the aham vritti happened, what was the previous condition? Where was this I? Was it there or it has appeared now? Obviously, it has come to surface, and the condition before this aham vritti is mere pure aham with no vritti as such. Because vritti is mind. So the mind has appeared from consciousness. Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah. At that very moment when you do the contemplation, inquiry into the origin of this I, if one can catch at that point, I, oh, patati, aham patati, that I will disappear. But when we allow, that is what unconsciously that we do every day, when we allow that I to appear, at that very moment it starts creating thousands of thoughts. And it is uncontrollably, it spreads. Its spread is so fast. I'm angry, I'm hungry. What is there to eat? Today is what day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What am I to do? What I have not finished? What I have supposed to do in the morning? Is there any schedule? Yesterday I didn't finish that. I have to finish that. So all the thoughts gushing into it. So here, this is a practice to be done at the beginning of the day as soon as the aham vritti arises, or when one sits for meditation, when one is able to reduce the number of thoughts in the mind with the help of either prana vikshanam or through observation of breath or by the japa, whatever be the method one takes, shanehi, shanehi, uparamed, slowly bring down the thoughts, buddhya, dhritigrihi, then when the Gurudev used to say last thought, the thought has already over. Next thought has not yet started. If one is able to catch the distance between, the gap between, the space between two thoughts, is almost come to a point of recognizing that which is the substratum or adhishtan of thoughts. So a person who sits for meditation, not just becoming silent, but also putting his inquiry into what is that the origin of thought. Maunena majjan manasa swamula charchaiva satyatma vicharanam syat. In the what call sadhana, sorry, Buddhist, not Buddhist, see, in the is it called? Suddenly my mind froze. Okay. Anyway, so in the Yeah. So,
Sadarshana
huh?
Swamiji.
Saddarshanam. Saddarshanam. This very clearly says, Maunena Majjan, with a quiet mind, Majjan sinking, Manasa, with the help of the mind, Swamula, or its own Moolam, root, Charcha, inquiry. So, Maunena Majjan Manasa Swamula, Charcha eva Satya Atma Vicharanam Syat. That is what is called true inquiry. So, this is the practice not only just at the beginning of the day, but any time when you are able to keep your mind quiet, get into that inquiry into the where is that root of this thought. So, Moolam kaha, Moolam kim. So, Tesham ekam Moolam, Pratama vikaraha, Bhavati ahankara. So, they understand the ahankara vritti, aham vritti is the one which is the pratama vikara. So, in this section is all about how to handle this ego. Continuing in the verse number 299. Yavat syat swasya sambandhah ahankarena duratmana tavanna lesha matrapi mukti varta vilakshana yavat yat svasya sambandho ahankaren duratmana tavanna lesha matrapi mukti varta vilakshana. Yavat, as long as syat swasya sambandha, one's own association, relationship, ahankarena, with ahankar, duratmana ahankarena. Duharatma means that most sinful, that which causes all bondages, duratmana ahankarena yavat sambandha syat. That is how the prose order is. Tavat, thus long, Leshamatrapi mukti vilakshana mukti varta na. Is not even a question of even iota of release. Even a little ego is there. I was watching this video on that. It's so funny. He says that even a little, or a anumatra ego, simple, one little simple anumatram, lesha mukti varta napi. He cannot even talk about mukti. He says that, you know, in Vivekachoodamani, where in Siddhapari only, when we were all there, and the person who was chanting, she was from here, from US. So he was saying, so even a little ego a person has about one's own abilities. Oh, nobody in India is available. I have to fly all the way from USA to chant Vivekachoodamani. That ego, if you have, he pointed out to that lady, you have. Not that you have, but if you have, no moksha, not even possible. So, what is ahankar? Tadatmya. So, it is any kind of identification with other than Atman is ahankar. That very identification with anything other than one's own self will not allow you to enjoy the ever-present liberation or state of freedom. As I said, if the mind is not turned towards it totally, it can never be experienced. Totally available for realization of the self alone is mukti. Ya tavanna lesha matrapi. So that's why here in this is Duratmana Sakala Bandha Hetutaya Dushta Swabhavata Ahankarena Yavat Swasya Pumsaha Sambandha Syat Tavat Paryantam Vilakshana Bandha Viruddha Nitya Niradishaya Sukaswarupa Ya Muktihi Tadvarta Lesha Matravi Na Sambhavati. There is no possibility of moksha, even a little, even possible, even if a little of ego is there, bandha viruddha, that which is bandha viruddha nitya niradishaya sukha swarupa muktihi. Its liberation is that which is opposed to the bondage, nitya niradishaya, which is nityam and all surpassing joy. Tadvarta lesha matra vinasambhavati. Meaning sarvabandha moola bhuta ahankaravan na sutaram mukta shabdartha iti bhavaha. Shabdartha is not capable, eligible for moksha. So obviously ahankara abhavi muktihi. See, mukti or moksha, earlier also I said vasana abhavi muktihi. Now he says ahankara abhavi muktihi, ajnana abhavi muktihi. Absence of ego is mukti, liberation. Absence of vasanas is liberation. Absence of ignorance is liberation. In other words, avidya equal to ahankar equal to vasana. It has to be understood that way. So, ahankar is there, then only there is vasana also possible. See, if I am experiencing something, and if I do not identify with what I am experiencing, it does not create the vasana for it. Right? So, there are two kinds of vasana, that those which can improve you and those which can make you further get into the bondage. So one who studies Shastra Vasana is also there. But to the extent required, then such a person can, with the help of the Shastra, can come out of it. So anywhere you identify, I like it, there is a Vasana created. I don't like it, another Vasana created. Wherever this I like it, I don't like it, I want it, I don't want it, immediately there is impression created. Tadatmyat vasana janayati tadatmyameva vasananam janma sthanam. Tadatmyameva janmasthanam. Vasana janmasthanam, the very origin of vasana is identification. See, when you are watching a movie, let us say that the hero is there, heroine is there, villain is there, and this. So you identify with few characters there, right? There's a hero you identify, or heroine you identify, or somebody identify. Then you identify with that personality or the character so strong, you start hating all others. Who is troubling that person? How it happens, right? When somebody identifies the villain, is a different thing. So mostly that villain is a very wild character. Usually you identify with the hero or heroine, whatever. So even in the simple situation where we are watching a movie or something happening there, or even when you take sports, for example, you identify with one particular team or a particular player. So when he puts the goal, why you identify with that person? And when he is trying to do, somebody comes and tries, how dare you do that? So how much we identify with even a character which is seen in the TV or in the sports. Even that short moment we have hates, likes and dislikes. What to talk of things that we continue to identify, so strongly among people around us. So how much we have to be careful about that, because identifying with anything, a particular thing, can cause raga dvesh. So here he says, any time when you have yavat syat swasya sambandha ahankarena duratmana, whenever there is a strong identification with anything, especially with that ahankar which is of the wild evil nature, tavat leshamatra api muktihi. It is like something is remote controlling you. When you have watching a movie and you're seriously watching a movie, somebody changes this channel. Hey, how dare you do that? No, if the control is with you, then there is no problem. You can change whenever you want. If the control is somebody else, what will you do? So too, the world around us is having control over our moods. We have allowed the world to have a remote control of our mind. So when we allow our mind to be controlled by external factors, obviously we can never be sure to be free. We can never be free if somebody else is controlling our mind, correct? And if it is the objects and persons and external factors, so many in our life, then what will happen? If predictable ones are there, some extent we can, but if an unpredictable, so many of them are controlling my mind, then what can I do? Think about such a person who is being controlled or mentally controlled by many, many people around or many things around. What would be the condition of that person? Can he ever be free? Even one person controlling your mind, you cannot be. One thing that controls, you cannot be free. You have to find out which is that which is controlling my mind. Whenever I see that I'm growing my teeth, that is controlling you. Outside. It is saying outside and controlling you inside. So why am I controlled and disturbed by something other than me, outside me? That is called ahankar. Ahankar is not with you. Ahankar is actually distributed. सबको ले लो भाई, सब ले लो. मेरा अहंकार सबके पास distribute हो गया. So they are all controlling me. So this is why I said such a person, even a little of freedom also he cannot think about. Lesha matra vimuktihi varta vilakshana. Vilakshana muktihi. That which is the ahankarasya vilakshana muktihi tasya varta lesha matra bhi na. Not even a little bit is possible. अहंकारगृहान् मुक्तः स्वरूपम् उपपद्यते चन्द्रवत् विमलः पूर्णः सदानन्दः स्वयं प्रभः अहंकारगृहान् मुक्तः स्वरूपम् उपपद्यते चन्द्रवत् विमलः पूर्णः सदानन्दः स्वयं प्रभः. Swarupam upapadyate. One attains one's own true nature when ahankar grihat mukta. The one who is free from the hold of ego. Graha means grabbing. In Sanskrit the word grahanam, grihyate, grih. They became grab. In Hindi, in English become grabbing. What is that? Anything that grabs you, that thing that holds you. They say it's called crocodile is a graha. Grahati iti graha. So that which is able to hold your feet or pull your feet and down. Ahankara grahat, from that hold of ego, muktaha, liberated, Such a person, Swarupam Upapadyate, he reaches one's own nature. Like what? Chandravat Vimala Purnaha. Like the sun, moon, which is being freed by the Rahu. Sadanandaha, always blissful. Swayam Prabha, self-illuminating. Sadananda should be, and oh no, there was one person in our Washington DC center. His name is Sadananda. I call him as you are so contradictory, you know. Why? You're sad and Ananda at the same time. I call him a sad Ananda. He always would, whenever he looks at me, I am sad Ananda. It should be understood as not sad Ananda here, Sada Ananda. It's always happy. Sada Anandaha Swayam Prabha. So therefore, here it is said, Ahankara Grihat Muktaha, one who is freed from the hold of ego. Ahankara eva Graha. Grahanat, Grihanat, Grahanaditi, Grihnadi, sorry. Grihnadi iti Rahu. So when we say Rahu Graha, Kyo Graha? So actually all all planets are called Graha only, right? Because it attracts, it grabs you. So that is why in astrology, an individual jiva, his mind can be disturbed by all those grahas. Their astrology, what is say? Oh, this graha is here and that graha is there. Saturn is there, so that one is there. So that influences. What is that influence? That fellow, that one is millions of miles away from me. How can that, which is millions of miles away from me, can have any effect on my mind or my situation? It is. Because their power is what? Their power is so strong, even if they are millions of miles away, their power is so extensive, they can even catch your mind. Grihnadi iti graha. So Rahu is also one graha. So that graha, Rahu, when it swallows the moon and when it releases, how the moon gains back or shows its original light. So graha tasmat swarupa tirodayakat muktaha. From that tiroda, from that achadanam, from that covering, one who is muktaha, chandravat, like the moon, swarupam upapadyate, pratyaktvena prapnoti, one who is released from that becomes aware of one's own true nature. Swaswarupam kidrisham kidrik ityataha. What is its nature? Bimalaha, Shuddhaha, Purnaha, Aparichinnaha, Sadanandaha, Nitya Sukaswarupaha, Swayam Prabhaha, Chitrupadaya, Swayam Prakasha ityartha. Yesterday I was talking to this interfaith students, they were there from different religions in Islam, Judaism, Jewish, and then Christian, and then what is that? Sikhism, all of that, Buddhist. So that's what I was told. I do not know who was what. I have no idea who it was, who belonged to which. First thing I asked was, you all had snacks? Yes. Why? They looked at each other. Because it is available. So, but just because it is available, why do you need to have it? So many things are available. Why did you have that? So one person, it's available. That's why I had. No, that's not the answer. I'm trying to divert them towards why the religion is important or what is the religion is all about. Finally, I wanted to direct them to think that I have it because it gives me joy, happiness, some kind of happiness. So why we are constantly looking for happiness? Because we think we are unhappy. One who is able to recognize one's nature as happiness, that is what is called Sadananda Swarupa Upavadyate. Sadananda Swarupam Upavadyate. Aham Sada Anandaha Idi Mama Swari Dateva Mama Swarupam Idi Upapadyate. One who understands my nature is bliss. I am deviated from that again and again, then I want to get back. See, whenever we are away from that, my nature, our nature, we become restless. Like if you heat up a water and keep it aside, what does it become? Once it is away from the source of heat or source of the boiling fire or the fire that boils it, when you take it away or switch off the gas, then obviously it will go below the room temperature. It will not stay in the room, it will go below also. That is the nature. Cold. So in the same way, when we are by nature of the nature of joy, bliss, unconditional. That's why it said as aparichinna, unconditional. Aparichinna pasadananda, unconditional joy, but that's what we are. When we come to the worldly level, become parichinna ananda, conditioned happiness. Like the water becomes less than even the worldly, the earth, the atmosphere, atmospherical temperature. Similarly, our mind, our own self is unconditional joy. But when we come to a surface and interact with the world, we only look at the conditional nature of the joy. Even the conditional nature of the joy, when it is deprived, we look for something to come back. Come back to what? At least some condition of joy. We are not ready to let go of the conditioned nature of joy and come down to the level of, or come up, you say, unconditional joy. At certain conditions, I'll be happy. When that is disturbed, I'm unhappy about it. It's called comfort zone, right? So you are living in the comfort zone. What is the comfort zone? Conditioned zone. So, when do I become unconditionally happy? When I am not grabbed and taken away by this crocodile called ahankar. Ahankara grahan mukta swarupam upapadyate. That's why I was telling them, your swarupam, your nature is happiness. Because of which you don't question why I want to be happy. A swarupam of a thing does not question it. Why fire is hot? Hot. Why? That's what it is. When you can't explain further. Why wind is moving? That's its nature. You cannot ask question why. Because that's what it is. Similarly, my nature is bliss. Why? That's what I am. And whenever I'm deprived, I get very restless. All of us. And only thing that we know is conditioned happiness. So we go back to a conditioned happiness by getting this or reading this or eating that and watching that or going places. But ultimately, when one settles down in meditation from the conditioned nature of consciousness, happiness, one goes deep into the unconditional nature of happiness. Once one has reached that point, he will not settle down for any other conditioned happiness at all. Yam ladva na param labam manyate natikam tatah. Yam ladva, having reached with, na adhikam, for other than that. No, he doesn't want any more. Yam ladva, having reached with, na adhikam manyate. Anything else is not beyond this. So here, Yavatva, so that's what we saw. Next verse is saying, Swarupa Praptya eva muktihi muktitvat ahankara moksha mokshe muktihi siddhyati. And removing oneself or releasing oneself from ahankara alone, true muktihi. So, now next verse. Yo va pure sohamiti pratitaha buddhya prakriptastamasadi mudaya tasyeva nisheshataya vinashe brahmatma bhava pratibandha shunyah यो वा पुरे सोऽहमिति प्रतीतः बुद्ध्या प्रकृप्तस्तमसाधिमूढया तस्यैव निःशेषतया विनाशे ब्रह्मात्मभावः प्रतिबन्धशून्यः अहम् इति पुरे यः प्रतीतः. Earlier itself, Pure Sohamiti Pratitaha, I am that, I am so and so. What is that? Yova Pure Sohamiti Pratitaha Buddhya Prakripta Tamasa Adimudaya. Earlier, what has been considered as so and so me, with the buddhi which is self-imaginating due to athyanta tamasa, because of the ignorance which is the nature of darkness, adimodaya, tasyaiva vinashe. The total destruction of that alone, what? The one which is giving you the notion of I am so and so. Tasyeva nisheshataya vinashe, without any trace. Brahmatma bhavaha pratibandha shunya. Then only that Brahma Atma iti bhavaha, that Brahman alone am I, which is devoid of all further obstacles. Pratibandha shunya. Thereafter there cannot be any other obstacle, because all obstacles have the one moolam, ahankar. Many people say that, Swamiji, yes, I am trying to do all the sadhana possible, but so many obstacles come on my way. Give me one. My wife doesn't like what I'm doing. Or my husband does not want. So, these external obstacles, which you say with my husband or my wife, whatever it is, only one answer that I have is, your freedom cannot be decided by anybody else other than you. Unfortunately, it looks selfish, but it is. My freedom is not decided by anybody else. And each one of them should realize that. I cannot say my freedom based upon your permission. अरे कौन सा permission चाहिए आपको? किससे? It is said by Bhagavan Shankaracharya very clearly in one place in Bhagavad Gita. If a person decides to be free, even Ishvara cannot stop him. Even God comes in front of you, don't be free. No, who are you to ask? You look your job and you take care of all other people. I am going. I am on my way to. Even Ishvara happy. Even the Lord cannot come and stop you. So you will say that he doesn't like, therefore I don't do it. She doesn't like, therefore I don't. किसके लिए आप कर रहे हो? Do you eat for somebody else? You are hungry? Yes, let me eat. आप खाते हो? Yes. किसके लिए? सोते हो? किसके लिए? पीते हो? Yes. किसके लिए? ये सब आप कर सकते हो. These and all you do without even asking anybody's permission. Do you ask permission? How do you say your opinion? Should I eat when I'm hungry? What is your opinion? Do you ask? I'm tired. Should I sleep? You don't ask anybody's permission. In this only you want a permission? After all, he is totally depending on me. That is his problem. That's your problem. Huh? Okay, whatever needs to be done, do it with a smile and then make him independent. So, do not wait for somebody's permission to be free. This is and some kind of such excuses people give. Pratibandha shunya. So that's why it is said here, tamasa ajnanena adhimudaya atmaswarupam vivichya jnatum asamartaya buddhya avivekatah. Due to the lack of discrimination, athimudaya atmaswarupam vivichya jnatum asamartataya. Without engaging in that inquiry by which one can exclusively understand the nature of self, without doing that, not able to do that, aviviktaha, because of it, pura eshaha ahamiti, eshaha etad deham aham, etad manah aham ityadi, etad shariram aham, eshaha deha aham, esha buddhi aham iti. Pura esha aham iti yo va ved va iti prasiddha pratitah parichinnataya jnatah, knowing oneself only as a divided consciousness or fragmented consciousness, tasya nisheshataya vinashah, destruction of that completely, nisheshataya. Shesha means something left behind. Nishesha, without leaving anything behind. Vinashah eva iti eva akarah binnakrama. It has to be tasya visheshataya eva, it should become. Tasya eva is written there. Tasya visheshataya eva. That's what he puts there. Brahmatma bhavaha paribandha shunyaha. Then only that Brahma Atma is bhava, and which is devoid of all obstacles. No chet, if not, viparita bhavana yavat paryantam. This is what is to be avoided in this seat of meditation. Viparita bhavana. How much ever one studies and understands, reflects, does the mananam, but only when you sit and start doing that contemplation followed by meditation, you realize how much the mind has been so distracted and so many hidden vasanas are coming to surface to move you away from your point of attention. You know, if somebody has learned cooking by looking at the YouTube, then okay, all things I have got. Now let me start on stove, put it on, water is there, put it on. What are the ingredients? I think I'm getting bored. So many times that happens, we very enthusiastically we start, within no time, I think it's too much of a job. Just order it, not as simple as that. Why unnecessarily do all these things? Many of these youngsters are like that. I ask them, first thing I ask them when they say, we are living in the hostel. Where do you eat? Outside. Why didn't you cook? Time. You decide whether you want to be healthy or not healthy. Don't look at the time. If you want to be healthy, better do it yourself. But then, shortcut. So the same way when we say you want moksha, yes, when I'm 80 plus, you can do that. अभी नहीं, अभी तो काम होता नहीं है, कुछ होता नहीं है, time नहीं. By the time you are 80, first of all, you do not know whether you will be 80. Secondly, secondly, by the time you reach 80, you are atimuda. Because you never tried even looking at what is true and false. But then at that time, where is the question of even the energy to do it? Atimuda. That's what he said. Atimudaya. Atmaswarupam viviccha jnadam asamartaya. So to capable of doing that, Viveka, that no chet viparita bhavana yavat paryantam na tavat aparichinna brahmatma jnanam brahmatmatva jnanam sulabam. Na sulabam ityartha. It's not possible. Now, it's beautifully, there is a simile that is being given here, a upama. ब्रह्मानंद निधिर्महाबलवता अहंकार घोराहिना संवेष्ट्यात्मनि रक्ष्यते गुणमयैः चण्डैस्त्रिभिर्मस्तकैः विज्ञानाख्यमहासिना श्रुतिमता विच्छित्य शीर्षत्रयम् निर्मूल्याहिमिमं निधिं सुखकरम् धीरोऽनुभोक्तुं क्षमः ब्रह्मानन्दनिधिर्महाबलवताहङ्कारघोरागिना स्वं दक्षते गुणमयैश्चण्डैस्त्रिभिर्मस्तकैः विज्ञानाख्यमहासिना श्रुतिमता निश्चित्य शीर्षत्रयम् मूल्याहिमिमं निधिं सुखकरं तीरोऽनुभोक्तुं श्रमः. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, so loving. He says, Dhiraha sukakaram nidhim bhoktum anubhoktum shamaha samartaha bhavati. Imam nidhim. He considered this realization or liberation as a great, great wealth. Nidhi means wealth. And this nidhi, which is sukakaram, of the nature of great joy, dhiraha anubhoktum shamaha. Only a person of true discrimination, viveki dhiraha, anubhoktum bhoktum shamaha samartaha. He becomes capable of enjoying this wealth. What is this wealth? Why you can't do it? Brahmananda nidhi. First one he says, this wealth is called Brahmananda. Not Vishayananda. Not object of experience, senses. Brahmananda nidhi. And this nidhi is like, recently, some years back, I think 2 decades back, they had found out there is so much of wealth that is there in the temple in Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram. Yesterday also somebody sent me a WhatsApp. I do not know where it is from. It is sometimes, they send such things, which are, I do not know the source. They put one golden form of Vishnu lying down on the Ananda Shrine. I could not understand the size of it. It's made of gold with covering the Kirita and other things. Even the Shiva that is there where he puts the hand, you remember in Thiruvananthapuram, the Lord puts his right hand on that. That is made of diamonds. So they say it's 3,000 years old or whatever it is. They send me. The international metallurgists, they come and try to calculate the value of it. They couldn't, because it is extremely valuable. It is millions of dollars in its, because it's solid gold. I don't know the size. Now, see, many of our temples have got so much of wealth hidden. And so they found in Thiruvananthapuram also some of the very great treasures. It is all locked up under the temple, some chambers, or in the side of. We have seen that when we went there. So most of the chambers are open, but some of the chambers they are not ready to open, because it is said in the Shasanas that they are all guarded by snakes. So you cannot touch it. They will probably definitely become very venomous. He says, in the same way, Brahmananda Nidhihi, this great treasure called Brahmananda, is Mahabalavata Ahankara Gora Ahina Sambeshtya Atmani Rakshate. This huge treasure has been completely guarded by a very venomous snake. Gora Ahina, Ahankara Gora Ahina. That Gora Ahin means the Sarpa. That very Sarpa is guarding it. What is Sarpa? Ahankar. Balavata, very strongly. Mahabalavata. Sambeshtya, covering, encircling completely, like, coiled around. And Atmani Rakshate, in your own self, in your own heart, in your own being, it is being protected. And it has Gunamayehi, Chandaihi, Tribihi, Mastakaihi. And it has 3 hoods, extremely powerful. Tribihi, Mastakaihi, Chandaihi. What are the 3 Mastakas? 3 hoods? Gunamayehi. Ahankara, serpent, has got 3 hoods. And when Gurudev was talking about it, he said, the hood alone is the poison. Because he said the tail and all doesn't have. That's why Chinese eat that also. I'm not saying Gurudev said this. Body people eat. But the hood nobody eats, because that is where the venom is. Mastakaihi. And how this venomous snake, which has 3 hoods, covering or protecting this beautiful treasure called Brahmananda. It's called Ahankara, is the serpent with 3 hoods. How do I overcome this? Vijnanakya Mahasina. With the sword, which is called Vijnanakyam, known as Vijnana. Maha-asina, the huge sword. Shrutimata, which is born out of knowledge of the Shruti. Vichitya Sheshatrayam. Cut all the 3 of them. Not even one should be there. All the 3. Tamaha is one hood. That tamas should be overcome by karma. That tamas, tamavo guna vritti, tamo guna is the hood that should be overcome only by karma. Because a tamasic person is lazy. And laziness will go away only when there is engagement in this world. Then that such a person will become too attached to action. Then rajas should be overcome by bhakti, devotion to God, understanding this action is not done for me or anybody, it is for the Lord. So rajaha through bhakti. Then by which bhakti person becomes sattvic, The sattvic guna should be overcome by jnanam. Meaning, even this is false. Even the so-called doing for the world, doing for the Bhagavan is also the ego to some extent. Certainly it is sitting there. Even the world which I am serving is mithya. That jnana teva. Sattva guna also will get transformed into nothing. So that is why it says Shruti Mata Vichitya Sheshatrayam Nirmulya Imam Ahim. Having completely rooted out this very snake, Nidim Sukakaram Dhiraha Anubhoktam Shama. Then only that person who is of having this discrimination is capable of enjoying this beautiful treasure. The treasure of the bliss of Brahman is enwrapped by the mighty and dreadful serpent of the ego sense and jealously guarded for its selfish use by its three fierce hoods, the three gunas, the wise man who destroys it by severing its three heads with the great sword of realization in accordance with the teachings of the scriptures, alone can enjoy this treasure which brings bliss. So let's see here. Sukhabodhartam rupakam kalpayati. For the easy understanding, Brahmananda eva nidhihi. That is itself is a treasure. Hiranya nidhivat, like the golden treasure. Sa mahabalavata, by the great strong vishayakshirapanena. This milk, this very serpent, which is very strong, how did it become very strong? It drinks the milk called objects. It is continuous engagement in the worldly pleasures. It becomes Vishayi Kshira. The worldly experiences is the milk. Panena, by drinking that. Ruda Molataya, very strongly rooted. Mahabalavata, Hankara eva, Gora Ahihi. Bhayanaka Sarpaha. Tena Gunamayi Sattva Rajastamo Rupaihi Tribihi Chandaihi Bhikaraihi Mastakaihi Atmani Swasmin Stitaihi Swamveshtya, having covered, having surrounded, encircled, Avritya Rakshate Anubhoktum Anaha Kriyate, make you not capable of experiencing it. Because it's constantly, whenever go near, so whenever you go for meditation, and let me get into this pure wait, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, one of them will come. Tamas, obviously, what? That is the one hood. Operating one hood. The second one is, I think I'll just finish that thing and then come and sit, otherwise that will disturb me and I have to finish that work and then I will be able to sit. Rajas, action. Sattva, wow, nobody can meditate like this. So quiet. I wish somebody can take a video of this sitting quietly. I think I got Vedanta Jnana. These yogis and other things, they are useless. So even the Sattva Jnana, in that Jnana Tadatmya, Jnane Tadatmya, all these three hoods, one of the other will come make the hissing sound. So one of them will definitely be there. Therefore, Anubhoktum Anarha Kriyate. So Vijnanakya Mahasina Nitityasana Janya Anubhavanana, that attempt to meditate by which a person comes to have a direct experience. Mahata Kadgena Dudimata, with this very sharp and huge sword. Dyutimata nishitena. Dyutimata means nishitena, which is sharpened by the knowledge. Swayam prakashatma vishayagataya dyutimatyam. What is the dyutimatvam? What is the brilliance of that very sword? It's Swayam Prakasha Atma Vishayagataya. It is none other than self-illuminating awareness. Shirshatrayam Sattvarajas-tamo Gunatmakam Vichitya, having destroyed the three hoods, Ahim Ahankara Sarpam Nirmulya Nishesham Krutva Sukakaram Imam Nidim Brahmananda Misham Abhidam Dhiraha Vashyatma Anubhoktum Shamaha Samartaha. Become capable of enjoying that Brahmananda. Etena Samyak Vivekajanita Vijnada Nashyatvam Ahankarasya Uktam. Ahankarasya Vinashatvam. So the destruction of the Ahankar is possible only by Samyak Vivekaha. Bin Satsang Vivekana Hoy. Rama Kripa Binu Sulabana Hosovi. Right? That satsanga creates Vivek. But satsanga is possible only with Bhagavan's grace. One should understand that very, very clearly. Then only we should understand, surrender to the Lord, will create the ability to get the satsanga, and which develops into Vivek. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyad Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.